Imagine, learn, create.
Let's roll. All right, to make this, we need to make a slab. And in order to get a cup shape, we also need to have a template. What I have here is just a paper cup. I've got the bottom and the top out. And now, as you can see, here's our cup shape. So, when we cut it open, we have a curve here and a curve on top. That's our cup shape. So that when we put it together, we're wider at the top, tighter at the bottom, pretty much your average cup. Okay, so first thing we need to do is get ourselves a slab. Probably a little more than we need.
Flattens it with a rolling pin.
Flatten this out just a little more using a rolling pin.
Flips it over repeatedly.
This is what we call throwing a slab.
She continues to throw the slab. It gets a bit wider with every throw. Flattens with the rolling pin, then lays the template across the bottom.
A little more. So you need to be able to cut your cup out. You don't want to cut it in the dead center because you want to leave enough space so you can cut a bottom and a handle out.
Brushes lightly with a sponge.
If I need to. A little water. And I want to get a nice smooth surface. Okay. Take my template, make sure it fits. I'm going to use.
She first runs a knife along the top edge of the template. Then she slices down each side and across the bottom.
I'm just using this cup.
Now she pulls off the template and places the remaining sections of clay to the side. Next, she positions the clay on white paper. Text, adding texture.
So now, I am going to stamp this. I have many different types of stamps, from store-bought to ones that I made.
She selects one of her stamps.
I'm a little in love with these. These are rollers.
Carefully rolls it across the center in a slight diagonal direction.
I'm just going to roll this over a little.
Picks up another stamp. Makes individual impressions near the end.
These are just wooden boutique stamps.
Makes more individual impressions.
One thing, when you're stamping, you don't want to go so deep, like you're squishing a bug, that you end up poking through to the other side. That's why if you notice that I'm kind of wiggling it back and forth as I put it on there, but I'm not really putting incredible amounts of strength into it. It does move a little. Not that corner to do. Something tiny, something fun. Okay, let's do one of my homemade stamps. That's how I'm rolling over.
She turns the clay over. Text, forming the cup.
So, to put this together,
With her thumb,
I'm going to gently, I'm smushing and pulling a little so that it thins out.
presses both sides.
Same on this side. With that thinner, when we overlap, it's not going to be like double thick. What will end up happening is we'll overlap and it will be the same thickness as the rest of our piece.
Now holds the clay in both hands.
So thin it out just a little, and I will just roll it around. And now now I'm going to decide. Okay. So I want this side to be on top. So I need to take a little water, my toothbrush.
First brushes the inside edge, then moves to the outside edge.
Since that'll be on top, this side needs a little water and a little scrubbing so that it's created enough slip.
Presses ends toward each other.
And as you see, I use the table to kind of help. I'm supporting it so it doesn't go flat. So, you know, I'm keeping my hole in there. I'm going to overlap this a little bit. And then I can stand it up.
Now vertical.
Didn't put too much pressure. That's where you can either use your thumb and smooth it over. I find a nice stick.
Smooths the inside with a stick.
And what I'm doing is I'm taking the bottom piece, and you see how there's a seam in there, and I'm just smushing it over. I want to make sure that I no longer see the line where the two pieces meet. This is why we do this before we put the bottom on. I'm also keeping my hand underneath so I don't smush it.
Continue to smooth the line inside of the cup.
Go all the way down until I can't see the line and it's smooth. I want it to be smooth inside. Take that off. I'm putting my hand inside, using the table. My fingers are here. I'm going to pre-stamp right there. Make sure my fingers are underneath, because if not, it'll just collapse. And you'll be sad. Now, that way, I know that is all sealed.
Making the base.
Now, I need to make the bottom.
Places on flattened clay.
I'm going to put this onto my, and you notice I'm moving over. I have all this. I can use this for something else. I'm just going to come in here and I'm cutting ever so slightly bigger.
Cuts around the bottom of the cup. Removes the excess clay.
Then I need, okay,
Dabs water on the bottom piece with a stick.
water.
Turns the cup over so the smaller end is at the top, then lightly brushes it with water.
Water.
With the bottom piece on the table, she positions the small end of the cup on top of it.
I'll cut this, make sure there's a little overlap everywhere. I can roll it over.
Gently taps it with a wooden spoon.
Gentle tapping. You tap too hard, you'll start to bulge out. You can keep your hand around it. It's always about action and support. And pick it up and turn it. And I'm kind of hitting so that my edge rolls over gently. If it starts getting weird shapes and everything, then you're hitting it too hard.
In a time-lapse sequence, she continues to tap.
It's just about being gentle. I like the look just having the bottom curled over, especially when it's not textured, and it really highlights. Wonderfully connected. Another thing I like doing, pencil with an eraser, and just coming in, I'm just catching that inside edge. I'm pushing it down because I want to make sure that there's no line on the bottom.
Text, making the handle.
Handle on this. I know, bad joke.
She cut strips out of flattened clay.
I'm just going to Alright, once again, I want to texturize it. Let's use another one of my rollers. They're new. I am having fun with them. Sure. Go that way.
Gently rolls both sides of the strip.
Alright. I'm gonna get a little fancy here. This is maybe 2 inches. Tons and tons and tons. I'm putting just a little, and I'm not really pushing down. I just want a little bit of water. Kind of use my fingers to roll this over. I'm rocking it. If I go too fast,
Slices a section from the end.
it's not. If you go too fast, you can get cracks in where your design is. So one. There's a little bit of cracking, but not that much. Now I'm going to go to this side. I'm going to do the same thing.
Runs a bit of water over it with her thumb.
Roll it over. Just carefully until it meets. Because that is going to give you a comfortable and pretty handle. Everybody knows what an ear looks like.
She bends the clay into the shape of a backward letter, J.
Slowly turn one side. Okay.
Shortens the end of the curve.
Cut it there. On an angle so that it's a little bigger on one side. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing, cutting it on an angle on the bottom. Since it's ear shape, see how long that side is? How long that side is.
Wets both ends of the handle.
A little water, a little scrub it dub. A little water. Scrub it dub. Now, I'm a right-hander, so I'm going to put it here so that that is out, and this is the side I would drink from. If you don't want to put a handle on it, don't. You can use it for pens and pencils, ceramic tools.
Wets the cup.
Eyeballing this. Because that's what I do sometimes.
Positions the handle on the cup.
My hands are on the inside, and I'm going to press ever so gently. See that ear shape? I'm going to stick my hands all the way down at the bottom, where once again I will press gently. I can use a stamp there. I can even use a stamp on the top. And there we go.
Text, Barnsdall Junior Arts Center, Department of Cultural Affairs.